Welcome to today's episode of Chappy Hour. Today I have on my guest, Ananya. Ananya, welcome. Are you excited for today?
Yes.
Awesome. So Ananya is on today and she was talking about Christmas drinks earlier. And so the drink of the day that we wanted to make was something a little festive. Talk about what we're drinking right now.
So we're drinking a boozy peppermint white hot mocha.
And it's delicious. So if you want to learn the recipe on how we made this, you can find out by going to our social media. It's going to be posted to TikTok as well as Instagram. And let's get started. Cheers. Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers. All right, on this show, we like to start strong, and so this topic is called I'll Take a Double, and this is where we start with the life hack of the week. I've got a good life hack that I actually used today.
Okay.
What about you? Do you have a life hack?
I do too.
Okay, this is mine.
Okay.
Do you like breakfast?
I do.
Obviously. Who doesn't like breakfast?
It's true.
I really enjoy a poached egg.
Okay.
Have you tried to make a poached egg normally?
No, because I always break them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like they can be really challenging to make if you've ever tried to make them like the way that chefs recommend.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do it in the microwave.
Oh,
And
what?
it literally takes a minute and 20 seconds. That's my sweet spot at least. And you get a perfect poached egg every time. So what you do is you need to get lukewarm water and put it in your mug about 2/3 of the way full.
Okay.
So you know it's lukewarm when it doesn't feel hot or cold to touch.
Yeah.
So you fill your mug with just like lukewarm tap water.
Yeah.
Add a splash of white vinegar. And then you just crack your egg into the liquid.
Okay.
Then, depending on what your microwave settings are, my perfect spot on my microwave is a minute and 20 seconds. Some might require a little bit more or a little bit less, but I put it in my microwave and then I take it out and I can scoop my egg out of the liquid and it's a perfect poached egg.
What?
Yeah. And I do it all the time and it's like pretty much every single time it's perfect.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to do that. Okay, I'll have to do that. So my life hack, I just recently saw this, but did you know you can scroll on TikTok without ever having to use your fingers?
No.
Okay, so all you have to do is, if you have an iPhone at least, you go into your accessibility controls.
Okay.
You hit voice control. You put in a new command for next. And then in order to move it, it says put in a hand gesture and you just swipe up. So then you go back onto your TikTok app. And if you just were to say next, it automatically slides up the video.
What?
So then you can, if you're doing dishes, which is like, I do that all the time. Like if I'm cooking, like making like breakfast, lunch, I want to be able to like switch off and see like the next video, but I can't because like my hands are busy.
Yeah.
So you can now just use like the voice command of next and it'll just keep on scrolling
What?
videos. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Right?
I've never tried that. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about it and I used to watch TikToks while I was on the treadmill at the gym.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that would be awesome. But then imagine me on the treadmill
Like
next. Okay.
Yeah, you
Maybe
can't. You probably can't do that. Like, yeah, in like a public setting. But if you're like washing the dishes,
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
and like your hands are busy, or like if you're making like a lunch and like you can't really move your hands, you can just say next because like the video's just overplaying it. Instead of that, you can just watch the next video.
If you guys are interested in checking out these life hacks that we're discussing right now, we are going to put them to the test on my TikTok. So if you want to check out us trying these out, go to our TikTok and see how it works out for us. All right. Well, let's talk about what's trending right now because this topic is called the Daily Special. So everything trending and our thoughts on it. So Ananya here is our resident millennial.
Yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately.
And I'm a Gen Z, but I like
Yeah?
to call myself a Zillennial because I'm kind of on the cusp.
Yeah,
I would say I kind of identify with both.
you're in like the middle of like Gen Z and
but
millennial.
what year were you born?
1990.
90.
So full on millennial.
Oh my gosh, full on millennial.
Yeah.
Okay, and I am 98. So there's an 8-year age difference between us.
I know.
But Ananya's still my best friend despite it. And people think that we're the same age, which
It's
is kind of
true.
funny. But what I've seen trending a lot on social media right now is Gen Z's absolutely ripping apart millennials.
Yeah.
Just like everything that they do.
I know.
Have you seen this?
Yes.
Okay, we need to talk about it.
Like some of the common topics I've seen is like the millennial pause,
Yeah.
which like I don't know if I've done that, but I've seen it in videos.
Oh, you've done it.
Like, Casey, then I have to think about it. I'm like, hey, when would I have done the millennial pause?
You have a story up right now. Should we check to see if you did the pause?
Fuck, did I?
But basically the millennial pause is when you're about to take a video and you're going to post it to social media, and there's like this 1 or 2 second gap before you start talking or before you start addressing the camera, where you pause like you're waiting for it to click in. And I think that it starts from like old iPhone days. Like
I think it's like the old YouTube days almost too, because like you would hit record and you would only start at a certain time, so there's almost like a pause in between, right?
Yeah. Or you know what I remember is Snapchat. You had to hold it for a couple seconds before it would start recording, and I wonder if it kind of stems from that. Or like stories, like if you started talking immediately, it wouldn't start recording immediately.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I feel like maybe it's because of like the time when we started recording videos.
But now what I'm seeing is Gen Zs are saying you should not be pausing before starting to talk at all.
Yeah.
You
should be like
you can start mid-word, like cut off the first half of your word.
Yeah.
And that's something that I do in my videos. I was talking to my mom about this the other day.
Yeah.
And I cut out every breath. Like you can't even hear me breathe in my videos. I cut out if there's space between words.
Yeah.
I will cut out that space. Like I might be just saying a sentence normally, and I will cut out every gap just to make it more efficient.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what's funny actually? I had a thought.
Okay.
And this might sound crazy.
Yeah.
But you know when you used to do speeches in middle school, high school, you'd do presentations, and then you get a mark at the end, and the teacher would give you feedback.
Yeah.
My number one feedback from teachers was that I talk too fast.
Oh, I've gotten that.
Yeah. Every teacher said, slow down, you're talking too fast.
Yeah.
But I feel like that has actually been a huge part of my success today.
Yeah.
Because I am a fast talker.
Yeah.
And because if I were to slow down, people's attention span is not there. Like
it's not.
They need somebody who's able to speak quickly, get to the point. They don't want to hear every little gap.
No.
And I don't know if that's like a really outdated, like Toastmasters way of speaking.
No. I think that's better.
Yeah. That's just something I've observed.
Well, because like remember we were talking about how influencers talk in general?
Yeah, the influencer accent.
Yeah. It's really slowed down to a point where it's like super monotone. Whereas I think like, when you're talking, like millennial versus like Gen Z, I feel like, they're way faster. They're just trying to get their point out as like fast as possible.
Yeah, that's so true. And when you think of the YouTube accent that people might have, this like the slowed down way of talking.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's all related.
I feel like it is.
Okay, what other trends are you seeing millennial versus Gen Z? I have one. Low-waisted pants.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to be honest, when we wore low-waisted pants, they were like really low-waisted. Like it was like the crotch was like tiny. Like I still have a pair, and if I were to wear them, like you could see ass cheeks. Like I don't even joke.
Okay, why are millennials so pressed about low-waisted pants coming back in?
Because they were literally traumatizing. Like, okay, so back in the day, we would wear low-waisted pants, and then we would wear like long
What year
tank
are you
tops.
Talking?
Like the 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'd wear like long tank tops to cover it up because high-waisted jeans did not exist.
Yeah.
And now we can't apparently wear high-waisted jeans.
So did you see like high-waisted jeans as like fixing a problem?
Totally.
Of, like
totally
body dysmorphia and stuff
well, because like the low-waisted jeans that we have. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the low-waisted jeans that Gen Z wears currently is mid-waist. I don't even think that's low-waisted.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually truly low-waisted.
Yeah, there was a pair of pants that I tried on that were marketed as low-waisted jeans.
Yeah.
And I was really pumped because I was looking for low-waisted jeans and they were the exact color I wanted.
Yeah.
And they were like literally 1 centimeter
away
beneath
from the belly.
my belly button.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not
low-waisted. It's not.
So how do you feel about it? Will you be wearing low-waisted pants?
Okay, well, I think that the low-waisted right now, I feel like that's almost mid-rise, so I probably would. But if we were to go with true low-waisted, I could never. I can't go back to that.
I kind of love it. So
I could see you're Gen Z.
We can fight over that.
Yeah, we can fight over that.
Yeah. Okay. What about, here's another one, the selfie angle.
Yeah.
So this is something that I kind of relate to because I feel like selfies, when we go to take them, we would hold our phone up.
Hi.
And I was in that era of higher phone selfies.
Yeah.
Just, it was supposed to be the more flattering angle.
Yeah, like your face just looked better at like a higher angle.
Yeah, it gives you kind of like that heart-shaped face look.
Totally.
Now, apparently, Gen Zs are saying, do not take a
high
photo
angle.
from
I know.
up. That is such a millennial thing to do. I did not realize that.
I know.
Because I'm Gen Z.
Yeah.
And now Gen Zs are saying, stop that.
Yeah.
Take a lower angled photo. Take your phone from here, bring it under, and take a selfie like that.
I can't do that. I would have to show like a double chin.
You don't have a double chin.
But like, I feel like when it's lower, it just creates a double chin.
But I feel like, okay, part of it for me is I feel like it makes you look more authoritative.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's looking up at you like, I've got the power.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Versus
okay, so
the other one is like, look at me, I'm so cute.
Okay, I do know what you mean. It's like from above, you look more like angelic.
Yeah.
And from below, you look more like hard. Is that what you're trying to say? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's part of it. But anyways, I thought that was an interesting trend.
Well, I think the other one is that they make fun of the fact that, okay, these are like really old school, but like on Instagram, we would do like the boomerangs. And I personally don't. You know I don't.
Death to the boomerang.
I don't do any boomerangs, but I do have friends who do still boomerangs.
Same.
And like, you know, you'll go to like a friend's wedding and then they're like, oh, like, let's do the cheers. And then I will take a normal video because like, I do that.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, no, like I wanted a boomerang. And I was like, come on, like, I don't even love those. And you have to do it a specific way so that it looks, you know.
And I feel like a lot of these things now are chuggy is the word.
Yeah, unfortunately. But like, I'm a millennial, but even I'm like, I don't necessarily have to have a boomerang. But the other one that I still do, and I was telling you about this, is in group photos. I don't know why. Like, we always, like, in order to fit everybody, we would just always, like, bend. Like, we'd always bend down and we'd do, like, the peace sign.
Yeah.
I still do that in group photos.
I mean, I feel like I'm trying not to do that now, but even I do that. Okay, I have another one.
Okay.
Have you heard about Chelsea boots being out now?
What? I was just gonna buy them.
No, apparently they're out.
What?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
I don't know. There's this girl who just did a video and she's talking about millennial fashion that needs to die. Or the front tuck for shirts.
Oh, yeah. It's called like the French tuck now or something.
So what are you supposed to do? What is a French tuck?
So French tuck is supposed to be fully all around. You can't just do, which is funny because I'm doing that right now. Anyways.
Oh, trendy.
Because I didn't even know that was a thing. But I have done the front tuck, which is just like, you know, inserting a little bit of it.
Yeah, I thought that was the only way, to be honest with
I thought so too, but she then said that you should be doing the French tuck, which is you insert a little portion of your entire sweatshirt around your whole pants. But like, isn't it
doesn't
that
add
out?
Bulk?
That's what I mean.
I don't know. I feel like that's not very practical.
I don't think it's practical either, even though I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. I mean, good for you.
Thank you.
Because I'm still trying not to be a front tucker.
Yeah, I know.
Talking about trendy.
Yeah.
Have you seen these videos of these girls that want a heart tattoo, which is like, you know, heart tattoo is cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. They are asking their significant other, usually it's a boyfriend or a husband, to draw a heart to be tattooed on them.
But
have you seen this? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. It's like these men don't know how to draw hearts.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They are starting halfway through the heart. And then they're starting with a brand new line.
And they connect it in?
And they connect it, and it looks like, it looks bad. It looks like a bubbly. What is it?
It doesn't even look like a heart.
Would you get that tattooed on you? If somebody drew a bubbly, it looks like a ball sack. This girl got the tattoo.
She did?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that. That's too permanent. What happens if you break up?
I mean, but... Okay, the issue isn't for me getting like a significant other tattoo. It's like literally
the ugliest
You can't
tattoo?
even tell it's a heart.
Yeah,
People are going to be like, what is that? Oh, did your 2-year-old draw that?
No.
No, your significant other did it and it's supposed to be a heart.
That's what I mean. I would not do that. I feel like that's traumatizing.
No. I don't think I would do it either.
No.
Have you ever asked any of your boyfriends to draw you a heart in the past?
I don't think I would because I think their handwriting was atrocious.
Yeah. You know what, actually? Hamish has beautiful handwriting.
Does he?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's Australian. He had to learn, like, proper writing skills because, like, no offense to the Canadian schooling system, but the block lettering is really bad. Like, I've seen worse.
Speaking of trending, have you seen this influx of teachers coming on to talk about how kids these days can't read or write?
Oh, yeah, I actually have seen that. I have seen that. It's almost like they have like a really short attention span. And they were saying like one teacher was complaining how he's had students like literally on their phone, like in class. And he'll be like I'm
how old are you talking?
In high school.
I mean, I used to sometimes go on my phone.
But like if he's teaching you something important,
yeah,
right? And like, so what he was saying was, so 50% of his classes are failing. And he literally will talk to the parents.
Yeah.
And this is funny because I think this comes back to like how parenting is with like millennials versus like Gen X.
Yeah.
Because I think millennials were really lax with their parenting.
Yeah.
So like they're like, well, it's okay, like the kids will just learn more in the future. But it's like I think high school is like a really imperative time to learn. But these kids would rather be on their phone rather than like learn anything. So yeah, a lot of them don't know how to like read and write.
Yeah, so like the biggest issue though apparently is that kids can't read. And then like they can't even write, like they're drawing symbols trying to be like, this is what I'm saying. And the teacher's like, what is that? And they're like, it's supposed to be a letter. It's like,
wait,
that's not
so
even
you're saying that's even like what, like elementary school?
Like elementary school, middle school, like children are illiterate.
Oh my god.
Which I don't know if this is true or if it's just like some
like
teachers that are having this experience, but it just seems to be like a really...
I feel like there must be some truth to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like at least 10 people complaining online about it so far.
Like honestly, I have seen it for like adult children, so like high school students or like so I'm like I can see totally that it translating from like youth to like adults.
But I have one final trending topic for the daily special. Okay. I watched this video of these girls that went and got their nails done.
Okay.
And when they went into the nail shop, it said that a set of nails was $25. Okay. Yeah. Sounds pretty typical.
Yeah.
So they went in expecting a $25 nail service and they came out and they paid over $200.
What?
Yeah. Over $200 for the
insane.
2 sets of nails, which when you're going in expecting 25, I feel like that's not right. And they have no idea where these extra charges came from because they said they just got a normal set. They didn't think that they got like gel or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how people these days, like, what do you do if you're given a service that you don't like? Like, a lot of the time people just accept it and pay and don't say anything.
I feel like 99% of the time you just take it and you don't say anything.
Yeah, and I feel like this video went viral because people could really relate to what these girls felt in like, oh no, I'm just gonna pay it and I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
And it's all gonna be okay. But have you ever had a situation like that happen?
Like literally, I would say like a few years ago, I went to go get my nails done at a nail salon too.
Okay.
I picked out this color, which was like supposed to be this like light peach color.
Yeah.
And I swear as soon as she put it on, it was this like bright orange, like Halloween orange. And I was like, oh, like, I don't think that's the color I picked. And she literally was like, no, like, this is it. And I was like, okay, can we not do this one? Because I don't think this is it. And she's like, well, I've already painted one nail, so I'm going to charge you for it. And if I have to take it off, she's like, and go back and do a new color, she's like, I'm going to be charging you for that.
Wait, so because she painted one nail, she was going to charge you when you were just voicing the fact that it wasn't the color you wanted.
Yeah.
So like, what did you do?
So I just let her paint my nails the Halloween orange.
No.
Yeah.
Was it for Halloween?
No, it was for spring.
No.
That's what it was supposed to be, like this baby peach color.
Oh no.
And yeah, it was $90. $90.
See, okay, I've had stuff like that happen, but with hair. But it wasn't that I had the opportunity to voice it, and I did voice it, and the person was like, no. I just was too scared to voice it in the beginning. Like, yeah. So this one time, I went to get my hair dyed. Yeah. And mind you, before I was the blondest I've been in my entire life.
Oh, I remember.
Like, this is before you saw that blonde. Like,
really?
Even more blonde than that. I was basically bleach blonde. I had worked up to this blonde for years. Like, it was getting highlights and brighter and brighter and brighter until the point I was like very, very blonde. Yeah. Then I went through a breakup. Oh. And you know what happens when you go through a breakup. You dye your hair. And so I told myself, I'm going to dye my hair back to my natural color. Yeah. This is my natural color right here. So it's like a normal brown.
Blonde, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just like a normal,
brown.
Yeah. It's just brown.
Okay.
So I told the hairdresser, I want a nice chocolate brown. Okay. Is how I worded it. I want like a nice rich brown. Like I don't want blonde anymore. I just want a chocolate brown. Yeah. So I walked in, she did the hair, takes off the towel at the end. Black.
But what?
Black. Like your color of hair. And I held it together really well.
Yeah, you didn't cry.
In front of her. Then I went home and I bawled. I literally was like sobbing. And I was so embarrassed because I didn't tell her that I hated it.
Of course.
I couldn't tell her I hated it. Yeah. And so I think I got my mom to call her back and try to explain.
Good
but she's like, but Chloe didn't tell me that she didn't like it. Yeah. It was because I was actually in shock and I
You were like totally like flabbergasted.
I was just so flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I fully relate to those girls, and I've had it happen since. Not in as bad of a situation, but then a different time I wanted to go super blonde.
Yeah.
Since being like already lighter, and I was not blonde when I left. Like, I didn't notice a huge difference from my hair. Same thing, went home, cried.
What?
I shouldn't cry about hair. I shouldn't. But, you know, sometimes when it's so tied to your identity, I feel like sometimes, I don't know, you just have to
I cried about orange nails, and I was like, I can't believe I'm about $90.
I mean, I would cry about that too.
Yeah.
So anyways.
So I can totally relate to the hair.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think this is a really good segue into our next topic.
Oh.
Which is On the Rocks. On the Rocks is the topic where we talk about the drama, the gossip, what's happening right now that people want to know about. And so there is something happening right now that is called the Wedding of the Century.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big title.
That is a huge title.
And apparently there's this girl who has made her debut on social media by throwing the most extravagant wedding I've ever seen.
And pre-wedding events.
Including pre-wedding events that people are estimating was like around $60 million. So all of a sudden everybody's like, who is this girl? What does she do?
Well, like, you assume that she's like a socialite, because like, who has just $60 million?
Who has $60 million?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ananya, you know a lot about this topic.
Yeah.
And I don't. So I'm going to let you take the reins for this one.
Okay, so let's just talk about like essentially the wedding. So we're not going to say any names, but she just kind of came out of nowhere. She's not a socialite. Nobody really knew her. It's not like she was like, you know, Lionel Richie's daughter, like Sophia Richie, right? Yeah. But she had her wedding at the Palais Garnier, which is this opera house in Paris.
And you've been there, right?
I've been there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could essentially book out the venue for a full wedding.
Well, if you have $60 million, I feel like.
The flower budget alone was, I think, $6 to $10 million, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she also hosted up, so there's like a chateau, like almost like a mini palace, like right outside of Paris. She hosted up all of her guests there, and she paid for all of her guests to stay there.
Can you imagine?
I know. I was like,
who is she?
So allegedly, she is a regional car dealership heiress out of Texas.
What does that even mean?
Basically, I think her dad sold a whole bunch of dealerships for a ton of money and then just gave her an inheritance.
What?
And she used it all on the wedding. Again,
well,
that's what
do you think that she used it all on the wedding, or do you think that this was just like pocket change? Because, well, how much money do you make from having car dealerships? Like, what on earth?
I don't know how much money you can make off of car dealerships. Okay. Like maybe millions of dollars.
Okay, and so she had like no social presence.
No social presence. And apparently her Instagram was like just normal, like, you know, her on vacation with her family, like not an influencer, like not a social media market, nothing. Mm-hmm. So then leading up to the wedding, all of her events were really productions. Like literally she was like walking into Chanel to get like Chanel bags for all of her bridesmaids. Whoa. Like it was like a production. But because it was so influencer lifestyle and so like produced, nobody like related.
Okay.
Everyone was like, oh, it seems so fake.
Yeah.
So then she hired a social media content creator / publicist.
Okay.
Like a week before the wedding to essentially take like iPhone videos and just like
blast him on social media.
Yeah, just like do like POVs of like what it would be like to be in like the most expensive wedding in the world.
Yeah.
And that just skyrocketed her to like fame. I think she got like 13 billion views on the one wedding video where she's like the influencer is like walking in and all you see is like the quartets like playing and there's like flowers just like draped. I'm sure you've seen it.
I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like that got almost 14 billion views.
Whoa. No.
Yeah.
No, that's impossible.
Yeah, she literally garnered I think she garnered over 20 billion views on her TikToks when they were
There's not even that many people on Earth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. I think it's because so many people were so fascinated.
Okay. With
like how could someone A, achieve that, and B, do it in like a venue that is really hard to get.
Like super exclusive.
Super exclusive.
So some of the theories I've seen online, and I don't know your opinion on this, but people are thinking that this was her way of buying her
into influencership. Yeah, totally.
Into fame. Like she wanted to be an influencer and was like, I'm going to throw the world's most extravagant wedding.
And I think she thought it would work initially. Yeah. But like, I don't think she was getting any of the views because it seemed so produced.
Yeah.
Like too fake.
Which is why she hired the publicist last minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's the husband? Who is this man?
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, then maybe he's also like rich.
Yeah.
Right?
As you'd expect.
But he's also just some normal guy. Like, he's not from like a rich family. But allegedly, there's some drama going on right now with him.
Okay.
And everyone's thinking the reason why she kind of took herself off of social media is because
she took herself off of social media.
Yeah, like she just deleted her TikToks and her Instagram went private. I think she may have just even like deactivated her Instagram now.
Like just?
Yeah, recently.
Like yesterday?
Like, I'm going to say a few days ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Now,
Why?
and it's because he's being charged with the crime of pulling a weapon out on 3 police officers.
When did he do this?
I think 2 years ago or something like that. But
so
he was,
she knew before the wedding
Yeah.
that this was going to happen.
Yeah, there's no way
he
that
was literally being charged
with a crime.
Potentially
Yeah.
with a crime.
He was charged with a crime,
So
but he
was-
got off on bail.
Okay.
And now like it's going through trial where he's pleading like
so
not guilty.
what is the status of this situation right now?
Like they literally went to trial like yesterday.
Isn't she like on her honeymoon right now?
No, her honeymoon is him in court.
Did he have to leave early?
Yeah, like there's literally like news articles right now where he's in court where he couldn't be there for his honeymoon, and the whole scandal is that like she was supposed to be like some rich girl like getting married, but to a criminal.
Okay, what doesn't make sense to me, this is just not adding up to me.
I know.
There's so many things that just don't make sense. First of all, the money side of things, it's just like crazy
but
to me.
also if you knew your husband was potentially going to be a criminal, why would you even publicize yourself as an influencer?
Where I'm caught up. If you knew that your fiance, husband, whatever, is getting charged with a pretty massive crime, potentially, or that
and
he even just like allegedly
you
did
hired
this.
a publicist, but you didn't tell her that like, oh,
by the way,
he may have pulled a weapon out on 3 police officers and was charged with like, you know,
he might be
allegedly
going to jail. Do you think that this is part of the scheme? Like, do you think that she wants people to be talking about this?
No.
Or do you think that she was just hoping that this would all be swept under the rug?
Honestly, I just don't think, and this is so funny, I don't think she thought that people would go digging. And the funny thing about like when you're in like the virtual world with TikTok, Instagram, whatever, everyone's a detective.
Yeah.
Everyone's a detective. Like, he just seems like a wholesome young man.
Yeah.
Like when you see the wedding. But would you have known that like, yeah, he pulled out a gun on 3 police officers allegedly?
No.
You
so
would
if he
not know
goes to
that.
jail, what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's probably why she couldn't have any of those TikToks
Like,
up.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
Okay, that's pretty crazy. That is definitely a good topic for On the Rocks, because that is messy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, if they divorce, I'm like,
but why would you also want to get married to like a criminal right before he might potentially have to go to jail, or like even just
and
like
why would you publicize it?
And I'm so confused.
That's what I mean. I was like, you hired a publicist for the whole wedding. I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't tell them like, oh, as
or
an
do you
FYI.
think that they did know? And
I don't think so.
Because like I could also see this being part of the scheme to get people talking.
You think it's like a marketing ploy?
I think it could be a stunt. Or like, well, you don't fake a crime.
No, I think that's real. Like, I think that's real for sure.
Like, I wonder what's happening. I feel like there's more to the story. I feel like more is going to come out.
But okay, well, what would she gain out of like making like this massive wedding, right?
Yeah.
Like getting it popularized.
Yeah.
And then it coming out that her husband was like a criminal.
Maybe she's going to divorce him, and then she's actually going to hope to attract some other...
Oh my God, her parents must like hate her because like
yeah.
$60 million
I just
want
to know, what do her parents think?
I know, that's what I mean. Like, they literally dished out $60 million for a wedding for them to get divorced.
Well,
like,
we don't
that's
for
crazy.
sure know that they paid. But if the money is coming from them, then yeah.
I feel like it's definitely that.
Man, okay. My topic for the On the Rocks topic is not that crazy.
Okay.
But it's still kind of crazy to me.
Okay.
Okay. It's a lot lighter. People are forgetting to put their pants on before they leave the house.
I've seen that. I don't know why.
Okay, I feel like when people say, oh, I've had a nightmare, like the stereotypical nightmare is somebody leaving the house without putting their pants on. And all of a sudden, I've seen this influx of videos on my For You page of people forgetting to put their pants on before they leave the house. Like actually just literally forgetting their pants. And what I mean by that is like not walking out like in tighty whities.
No.
But right now, outside, it's kind of getting colder out, right?
Yeah.
And so there are long johns underwear which are like for men, they're like kind of like leggings ish that go under your pants.
Yeah.
And for women, have you seen those like sheer tights? They look like tights, but they're actually lined with like fur.
Fleece.
So it looks so they look like sheer tights on your legs, but they're actually
fleece lined. Yeah.
Fleece lined leggings.
Yeah.
And they're warm and they look really good with like skirts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I saw a woman on my For You page, and she went out and she forgot to put her skirt on over her fleece line
I know
tights.
exactly what you're
and so
talking
it looked
about.
kind of ridiculous. I think she was from New York, and she's like, you wouldn't believe this, but I went to modeling castings like this, which, I mean, if you rock it with confidence, good for you. But I
feel like
never.
in New York, it would totally work.
I mean, I feel like of all the places, New York is the place that you could get away with that.
Because it's all about crazy style.
Because that's crazy style anyways.
Yeah.
But then I saw this Canadian dude who like literally was like, dudes, if you are going out into the cold, do not forget your pants, because he was wearing them and he's so used to wearing pants that the feeling of the long johns on his legs, he just assumed it was his pants. And I'm pretty sure he went to like Canadian Tire and just like forgot to put his pants on, and he did his errands literally wearing them. And then I saw a third video and I was like, what is happening? People are forgetting their pants.
You saw a third video too? Was it a girl?
Yeah.
With the tights?
With the tights.
Okay, you know what? I can understand it with the girl with the tights, because like honestly, there are times where I've forgotten to wear a coat. And I know it sounds dumb, but like I've done that. You're like in a rush, you're trying to get somewhere, and then you're like, God damn it, like I forgot to wear my coat. But like if you're cozy,
coat is so different than pants though.
Yeah, I know.
Pants is like, I feel like you've just got your whole like butt hanging out basically. Like it's not like coat is one thing, but pants.
But were there like tops like longer?
No. Like the one girl's was a little bit, but the other girl, it was like you could see, like, you know how there's the seam on the butt that does like the U. It kind of looks like a diaper bum. That was like straight up.
Okay, you know what? If we're gonna say that, I have a story that's related to it. Okay. So one time, you know, like the bodysuits, like the ones that like button up. So when I went to the bathroom, I obviously unbuttoned it.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten to button it back up.
I'm laughing because I've done this so many times.
And it was like a little loud.
So many girls can probably relate to this. Having the little bodysuit tail.
But I was at work and nobody told me until I walked past reception, and this girl, I'm sure she was like Gen Z. She was like, hey, your thing. And I was like, what? And she was like, that. And I was like, I had walked around for half the day with a bodysuit tail.
Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. Okay, I've literally had that happen so many times, but for me, it's usually when I'm out drinking. Like if I'm at the bar and I've got my cute little bodysuit and like I go pee and I've had a couple drinks. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this is like so difficult to do up right now. I'm so you're just tuck it. Yeah. But you just it never doesn't tuck properly, or it comes out, or you just forget.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. That's so funny.
So like with the pants thing, I kind of get it, but I'm also like,
true.
Again, we live in Canada, so like I feel like we'd feel it for sure if we were missing pants.
Well, you think, but yeah,
you know, you did it too.
Yeah, but you know, on the topic of like staying warm and having leggings and stuff like that, I want to talk about my next topic, which is something that we sure bundled up for, and it's kind of crazy. It's shaken not stirred topic. So the shaken not stirred is the shock value of the week. It's something that we'll each have our own story that it shook us. Yeah. And Ananya and I were actually out earlier this week, and we had a super crazy experience, like a once in a lifetime experience that I didn't even know was possible. And I'm going to share it with you. So we were driving back from the Banff Christmas market to Calgary, and around this time of year in the past, I've seen Northern Lights. And so we were just driving, and mid-conversation, we saw these flashes in the sky, and none of us were kind of saying anything, but we were both kind of looking at the sky like, what is going on? What is this? And then we realized that I think the Northern Lights are forming. Like that's not just like flashes in the sky. Like that is like actually Northern Lights are forming in front of our eyes. And so we pulled over the car really quickly and hopped out and got our phones out and our cameras, and we were trying to photograph it because we're like, this is insane. Yeah. Just super cool. But then they turned red, like blood red. The Northern Lights were like,
but it's funny because when we were looking like in the dark sky, they didn't see that they're red.
Yeah,
it just looked green with like a little like almost like a purple tinge.
You could kind of see the red a little bit, but it wasn't like a vibrant red.
I thought it was more purpley because like I think like the red against the black made it look,
it was harder to see.
Yeah, and so I didn't think it was red. Remember, because when we initially saw it, we were like, oh, there's no way that's red, because you thought something was wrong with your camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is weird. Like in the sky, it kind of looks green with purple almost.
Yeah. Well, I thought that the temperature gauge on my camera was like pulling really warm or something because like I expected it to be purple, but it was red. And there's actually something called a blood aurora, which is the rarest type of aurora, apparently, where northern lights, when they're at a super high atmosphere, can show up as red.
Yeah.
And we got to see that and experience that ourselves, which is super rare. And
do you know that they only happen for a short period of time?
Yeah.
They can apparently only burst for like 15 or 30 minutes. Like they don't last that long like regular auroras. Like I have a friend who's a geologist and he was saying that at this party that he's like, yeah, like red auroras are actually rare because they only happen for a short period of time. Yeah. They can essentially be red initially and then they switch to like green and purple or whatever it's normally supposed to be.
Wow. Well, I feel really grateful that we were able to see that.
Totally. Same. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen red before in an aurora.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few and it's always either green or like the pinky purple, but red was a very unique experience for sure.
I mean, once in a lifetime experience. So that was my shaken moment. I couldn't believe I had the opportunity to see that with my own eyes in person, unprovoked. Like we weren't out aurora watching. We like literally we even while we were there, we went on the Aurora Watch app because there's an app that is supposed to notify you if there's supposed to be northern lights that night. And it was like, chance of aurora, low.
Yeah.
Oh, low. What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just got lucky. Now it's your turn.
Okay, so mine is something I saw on TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is that apparently babies can't drink water. Which like and again, like this girl, she was talking about how like, did you know that like babies apparently can't drink any water up to like 6 or 8 months or something like that. And when she said that, I was like, wait, like I never learned this, like not in like biology class or like health that like,
I never learned that.
Yeah.
I did not know that babies couldn't drink water until that video.
Yeah.
I saw the same TikTok.
Yeah. And I was like, there's just no way. And I was like, why would that even be? Like, what is the reason that like babies can't drink water? And when you like look at the comments, apparently it's like, yeah, like they can get like water toxation from like
or water toxicity.
Yeah. From like drinking too much water. And I was like, wait, I didn't even know that was a thing, that like it can like apparently thin out your blood to a point where it's not going to be absorbing any nutrients.
Oh.
So that's the reason why they only drink like milk and like, I guess like, I don't know, formula.
Yeah, I actually Googled this because I was like, what on earth, babies can't drink water? Like, why is this not? I feel like this should be common sense, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. I Googled it because I was really curious, why can't babies drink water? And apparently babies' stomachs when they're born are extremely small, like 1 to 2 teaspoons is all they can hold, which that's like tiny.
Yeah, that's like your bladder.
Yeah, like that. Like, I mean, true. That's so funny. I do have a tiny bladder. We're not going to talk about that today, but we can in the future. But they need to have nutrition to survive, obviously. But when you give them water, because they need to be fed so often throughout the day, like babies, they don't just have like a couple meals a day, like they're fed constantly throughout the day. And it's because their stomach is so small and it passes through them. But when you're giving them water, they're not getting nutrition. Like they're just getting water. And it can make the baby malnourished because they're not obviously like getting nutrition with their food. And water toxicity, you know, adults can get it.
Really? From drinking too much water?
Apparently if you drink like 16 cups of water all at once, that it can make your brain swell and you can die because it's happened.
What?
Yeah. There's a really tragic story about this. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like a radio show that did a contest on who could drink the most water or something like that without going pee. And a woman died from it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It traumatized me when I was in like 7th grade.
But I also didn't know that could happen in adults because like they always tell you like, oh, like people aren't drinking enough water. So like now you're saying like, oh, like you shouldn't drink too much water. Like that's something like I've actually never heard of.
Yeah. I mean, pretty crazy, but apparently it's a thing.
Wow.
Yeah. But off of the crazy topics, we're just going to go to something that we are obsessed with this week. And this topic is called Bottoms Up because we cannot get enough of it. It's our obsession of the week. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You start.
Okay. I feel like everybody knows this, but I'm obsessed with popcorn. I love popcorn. I cannot get enough of popcorn. I eat a bowl of popcorn every single day, and I finally think that I have perfected my popcorn recipe.
Oh.
I got to share it with you.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's nothing worse on earth than mushy popcorn. And
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
mushy
agree with
popcorn,
that.
it's the worst.
It is.
But there's a way to make your popcorn so it's not mushy.
Okay.
And there's 2 different ways you can do it, and both are really good. It depends on what you're feeling that day, but I'll tell you my favorite way right now.
Okay.
And it's stop using margarine.
Why? So use butter instead?
Use ghee, which is
Okay,
clarified
Indian.
butter.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're
Yeah.
Indian. You
I
probably
know.
use it in your cooking.
Yeah.
I love ghee. Ghee is clarified butter, and apparently what it does is when you're clarifying the butter, it takes out all the milk solids, but it
Yeah,
also
yeah,
takes
yeah.
out any of like water or liquid that's
Yeah,
suspended
yeah.
in it and leaves you with only the fat. And the fat doesn't absorb into the popcorn and make it mushy like
Yeah.
the liquid from margarine might,
Yeah.
because there's water in margarine.
Yeah.
It literally just coats your popcorn perfectly, and it tastes like movie theater popcorn. And so what I do is I use a
Oh.
silicone bowl, and I use exactly 2 palmfuls of unpopped kernels, and I put them in my bowl.
Yeah.
I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and 15 seconds because that's the perfect amount for my microwave.
Okay.
And then after, I just microwave usually around 3 tablespoons of ghee,
Yeah.
and then I just pour it on top. I do 10 cranks
Okay.
of coarser salt, 10 cranks exactly. I start with a big spoon, like scooping from the bottom.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it coats the popcorn perfectly.
Perfectly?
It's salty, it's not mushy, and it tastes amazing.
Okay,
every
well,
day.
if you're gonna do that, like if you're someone who likes to eat a lot of rice,
Yeah.
you should put a tablespoon of ghee in that too. Yeah, and it makes the rice not like crispier, but almost like harder, so it doesn't like all mush up. Because sometimes if you overcook rice, it can like mush up.
Yeah.
That's your hack. If you use a tablespoon of that in there, it will
Yeah.
almost like harden it back up. So it's like,
I love ghee.
yeah,
Ghee is great.
yeah,
I use it in my cooking. I've kind of replaced anything that requires oil
or butter.
or butter with ghee.
Honestly, it's supposed to be healthier for you.
Tell me yours.
Okay, so mine's quite seasonal, but it's about opening like fancy advent calendars.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So like I think like a couple years ago you heard about like the Chanel advent calendar. Do you remember that?
Was that the one that was a flop, or it was really good?
Oh yeah, it was a flop.
Okay.
And like Chanel like blocked her
Oh.
from all of her social media.
Wait, blocked who?
The girl who did the
So a girl did a video on a Chanel advent calendar.
So it was $1,000 advent calendar, right?
Okay,
and
that's pretty pricey.
that's really expensive.
Yeah.
So she decided to like open up her like each of the days.
Mhm.
Literally one of the days was like a stickers. Like just Chanel stickers.
Oh no.
And so
I
she-
would probably cry.
So she was like, okay, like I'm gonna open a big one.
Yeah.
So she opens one and she gets like these little CCs. So she was like, oh weird, like what is this? I was like, I don't know what that is. Is that an earring? Like what is that? If it was an earring, you're like, okay, like that's totally worth it. But you're like one earring of a CC, that makes no sense. She opens the next day. It's literally a part of a keychain. It's the head of the keychain and the chain part.
As 2 separate days.
2 separate days.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Yeah, like I was like, this must have been like a keychain that was just laying around and they decided to just disassemble it and
Yeah.
just like put absurd because
Okay.
it was $1,000.
That's crazy. So are there like good advent calendars that are better than this one, or what's going on?
Okay, so then this year I
Yeah.
saw a whole bunch like for the Dior one.
Okay.
The Dior one was pretty good, but it was also like, yeah, like 900 pounds. That's
Okay.
a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. But like they actually got like full size like lipsticks.
Okay.
They got like mini perfume bottles. So I was like, okay, but I'm always like, I want something that like they're gonna give you like full size ones. So for the Canadian one, the Bay Advent calendar is actually supposed to be really good because they give you like full size perfumes. Like I think they got like a Bay towel, and I know like maybe you don't really want Bay merch, but like it was really cute. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like, and it was not inaffordable. I think it was like $250 or something, like $190 plus like
Okay,
tax.
that's pretty good.
So it's not.
So did you buy it?
I'm on the wait list till October 2024. Like you can't buy it now. You had to buy it like apparently October this
How
year.
do people find out about these advent calendars?
Apparently you have to pre-order them, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. But then there's this girl, she went to her local Bay and she asked about it, and the manager was like, hey, let me check in the back.
Okay.
And they had a few
No
left.
way.
And so she was like, this is perfect. So
Yeah.
she did like the unboxing for it. And honestly, I was like, with her unboxing, I was like, I would totally get this advent calendar.
I can see why you're obsessed with advent calendars. I mean, they're pretty awesome.
I just like, I just like watching other people open them. I just want to see if
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
if it's worth it, I'm like, next year I'm going to buy it.
But you know, I feel like we're getting to the end of our podcast for today,
Okay.
and we covered some pretty crazy topics.
We did.
I mean, I love them all, but we're gonna sign off for today. So grab your drink. Cheers.